All right, guys, today what I want to do is I want to go over two ways that we can get out of long-run equilibrium and then how we get back to long-run equilibrium. Okay, so we're going to discuss two different ways. Now, we're going to discuss more ways later in Friday's class, okay, but for now, I want to cover just two of them, okay? So what I want to start off with is us being in long-run equilibrium and then something happening that gets us out of long-run equilibrium and then how we get back to long-run equilibrium. Right, so we start off in long-run equilibrium, real GDP, price level. Here's our long-run aggregate supply curve. Here's our aggregate demand curve. And here's our short-run aggregate supply curve. Right, so right now, the three curves intersect here. So we're at this price level, PL1. We're at this output, Y1. Okay, and I'm going to label this just point A. Okay. Now, at point A, right, at this long-run equilibrium, our potential output equals our actual output, right? So our maximum sustainable output is, we're at that maximum sustainable output. Okay, we're at our potential output. What is our unemployment rate here? Our unemployment rate is the natural rate of unemployment. We're at full employment, okay? So everything is exactly where we want it to be, right? This is where we're at right now. Okay, now, on a PPC, how would this look? On a PPC, I want you to be able to connect these things. On our production possibilities curve, right? Capital goods, consumer goods, right? If we're at our long-run equilibrium here, that means that we're at our potential output, right? So that means that we're at our potential output on the PPC. So our point A right here and this point A right here, they correlate with each other, okay? They show us the same situation in the economy. They just show us with two different sets of data. This is looking at price level and real GDP. This is looking at consumer and capital goods, right? But they're both showing us at our potential output, at the natural rate of unemployment, at full employment output, okay? Both of them show us that. All right, now, let's say that something happens, okay? Here's our scenario, and you need to know the scenario, okay? So write the scenario down. Let's say that we're at our potential output, we are where we want to be, and all of a sudden, interest rates drop. Interest rates go down, okay? Interest rates drop. Right? Now, if interest rates drop, what is going to happen? Right? Well, remember, this right here, AD, okay? AD equals C plus I plus G plus X sub N, right? It equals that, okay? So if interest rates go down, it's going to be cheaper to get a loan. It's going to be easier to get a loan now. And so as a result, people can consume more because they can get a loan to consume. They can use it to get a loan to buy a house, or sorry, not a house. They could get a loan to buy a car. They could, use a credit card to go buy some new clothes or something like that. So consumption is going to rise, okay? And then investment's also going to rise. Why? Because what I was saying earlier, actually, people can get a house for cheaper now because they can get a loan to buy a house. That would be investment. Remember, building new houses is an investment. Businesses can build new factories. They can buy new machines, all that kind of stuff. So C and I are both going to rise. And that's going to cause this AD curve to shift to the right, to increase, okay? And when it increases, now we go from this equilibrium point A to this equilibrium point B. And at point B, our price level is now higher, our output is higher. Okay, so our output is increased and our price level is increased. Now, here's what you need to look at, right? Where is our output in relation to potential output? We're above the potential output now. So what that means is that we are experiencing inflation. We have an inflationary gap right here. Now, I want to talk about inflation for just a second. When we were in unit 2, I talked to you about two different types of inflation, demand pull and cost push. This is demand pull inflation, right? AD is shifting to the right and it's pushing up price levels. So this is demand pull inflation that we're experiencing. This is our inflationary gap, the gap between Y1 and Y2. That's our inflationary gap, okay? Now, we're producing above our potential, so what does that mean about our unemployment rate? What that means is that our unemployment rate is less than full employment. Our unemployment rate is less than the natural rate of unemployment, okay? And it also, since we're producing above our potential on this production possibilities curve, we might be somewhere like right here now, point B right here. So now this B and that B correlate, okay? Now the question is, how are we going to get back to long-run equilibrium from here, right? Here's how we're going to do this, okay? Pay very close attention to what I'm saying here. All the things that I'm saying are vitally important, all right? Let's start off in the short run. In the short run, remember when we talked about short run aggregate supply? In the short run, nominal wages don't have a chance to catch up with price level, right? They're sticky. Okay, so in the short run, our nominal wages don't change. They do not change. They're sticky. Okay, in the short run. But as we move to the long run, what's going to happen? Our unemployment rate is really low, right? So if I want to hire a new employee as a business owner, I'm going to have to pay more to find an employee because unemployment is really low, right? It's hard for me to find an employee, so I'm going to pay them more to get them to work for me. Also, if I have employees right now, they're going to eventually demand a raise to make up for all this inflation that's going on. So as we move from the short run, now we're in the long run. In the long run, nominal wages are going to rise to meet price level. Nominal wages are going to rise to meet price level. Okay, now what does this mean for me as a business owner? Well, now I'm paying my employees more, right? Which means that my costs to do business have increased. They've increased. So I'm paying more for my factors of production. I'm paying more for my employees, more for my other my land and my capital. Okay, my costs to do business have gone up, which means that it is now harder for me to produce. And so as a result of this, the short run aggregate supply curve is going to shift to the left. Remember, what causes short run aggregate supply curves to shift to the left? They shift when it becomes harder or more expensive to produce things. Well, it's harder and more expensive to produce things now because businesses are paying their employees more. They have a higher nominal wage they're paying. So that's going to make it harder to do business, and this SRS curve is going to shift. And it's going to keep shifting until we get to our long run equilibrium. So it's going to shift all the way to here. Okay? And at this new equilibrium, point C. And at point C, we have a higher price level. Okay? But notice what our output did. Our output goes back down, back to Y1. This little hooked arrow, that's how I'm indicating that it's going back down to where we started. It's back down to Y1 again, right? So we're at point C. We're back at our long run equilibrium, right? Producing our potential output. Okay? And our price level is higher, and you might say, well, aren't we worse off if price level is higher? No, because remember, we're in the long run now, right? So wages are going to match the price level. So in reality, we're producing the exact same amount, right? But and price level is higher, but wages are higher too. So we're back to where like everything needs to be. Okay, it's all good now. Okay, so we're back at our maximum sustainable output. We're back at our potential output. Our unemployment rate now equals the natural rate of unemployment again, right? It equals full employment. Okay, where are we on this graph? Well, we're back on our long run curve, right? So that means that we'd be back on our PPC. We could be right back at point A again, okay? But I'm just to like kind of differentiate between all these. I'm going to say maybe we're right here at point C here, okay? But it doesn't matter where, right? As long as you put it that we're on the curve, that's all I care about. That's all that really matters for our purposes, okay? So now we're back at long run equilibrium. How do I know that we're back at long run equilibrium? All three curves, right? This red AD curve, this blue SRAS curve, this black long run curve, they all intersect. So I know that we're back at long run equilibrium. Okay? Okay, that was an increase in aggregate demand, right, with an inflationary gap. Now let's look at a decrease in aggregate demand with a recessionary gap. So we're going to start out the same place that we did before, at long run equilibrium. So we got real GDP, price level, short run aggregate supply, and aggregate demand. And where the three curves intersect with long run, right, including long run, okay, we're at long run equilibrium. Okay, all three curves intersect there, right? So our price level is right here at PL1, and our output is right here at Y1. Again, same thing as before. We're at potential output. We're at maximum sustainable output. Our unemployment rate equals the natural rate of unemployment. Our unemployment rate is full employment. Okay, we're at full employment output. All that good stuff, right? We're right here at point A. Okay, if I was going to draw this on a production possibilities curve with capital goods and consumer goods, okay, and our PPC, right, our point A would be somewhere on the curve. Anywhere on the curve is totally fine, right? Now, let's say here's another scenario for you. And again, write this scenario down, okay? Think about, because I want you to be able to look at some specific examples. All right, so let's say that right now we're in full employment, everything's going well, and let's say, I don't know, maybe something really bad happens, like maybe some kind of recession occurs in another country that we trade with, right? So like, let's say Canada goes into recession, right? Income is dropping in Canada. Now, if income is dropping in Canada, right? Think about this, again, think about what AD equals. C plus I plus G plus X sub N. So if Canada goes into recession, right, X sub N is going to decrease. And if X sub N decreases, AD is going to decrease. And so when that decreases, right, here's what happens. Our price level drops. So the price level goes down, and our output drops. Output goes down. Right, now we're here at point B. Okay, right here at point B. Okay, now what do we have here? We have a recessionary gap, right? A recessionary gap between our potential and actual and our potential, right? So actual minus potential equals our recessionary gap. We have a negative GDP gap here, right? That means that our unemployment rate is high. Okay, our output went down, so our unemployment rate went up. Okay, because we're producing less stuff. Also, you could say that because income is going down, that must mean that unemployment is going up as well. Okay, so we're producing below our potential, which means that over here, we're below our potential. It means we're somewhere inside of the curve, so maybe right here at point B. So this point B and that point B, they both correlate with each other. Okay, now, how are we going to get back to long-run equilibrium? And again, this is how we're going to go through this, all right? So make sure you're paying attention to what it is I'm saying and how I'm saying it, all right? Now, in the short run, because wages are sticky, in the short run, right, prices of factors of production and wages, they're sticky, they don't change. But as we move to the long run, that's when our nominal wages and price of resources is going to change. What is it going to do? Well, our price level went down, our unemployment is higher now, and so as a result, nominal wages are going to drop, okay? Nominal wages are going to drop. And if that happens, if resources become cheaper because nominal wages are going down, well now if I own a business, it's easier for me to produce, right? It's easier for me to produce. And so if nominal wages go down, cost of factors of production go down, it's easier for me to produce. SRAS is going to shift to the right because again, what changes SRAS? When it becomes easier or less expensive to produce, that would shift SRAS to the right. And SRAS is going to keep shifting right until we intersect that new aggregate demand curve, right? So where all three of these curves intersect, okay? And so now what's going to happen? Our price level is going to drop, and our output is going to go back up. And again, this hooked arrow, right? This little hooked arrow right here, that indicates that we're going back to where we started, okay? So our short-run aggregate supply curve shifts to the right, our price level drops, and our output goes back to where we started. Now you might say, like, okay, well, aren't people better off because price level is down, but our output is where it was? No, because again, they're right back where they started because nominal wages have dropped along with price level. So we're at the same output we were at before, and our wages are lower, even though and price level is lower. So everybody's like right back where they were at the beginning. Okay. Now on this graph, where are we? Well, we're back at potential output again, right here at point C. Okay, at point C. So we're going to be back on our production possibilities curve at point C. And so I'm going to say maybe, I don't know, maybe we'd be right here at point C. We just be back on the curve. That's all that really matters here, is that we're back on the curve. Right? So again, points A, B, and C correlate with points A, B, and C on both graphs. They correlate with each other. Okay, they both describe the same situation. And that is how we get into short-run equilibrium with a change in AD, and then get back to long-run equilibrium through our change in short-run aggregate supply to get us back to that long-run aggregate supply curve and full employment and potential output and maximum sustainable output and the natural rate of unemployment. All of those things is back where we're at when we're at point C. All right?